Bookmark 100 Greatest Shocking Sports Photos of All Time that Show Past Era. Historical pictures. Sports. It's more than just a game. It's a universal language that transcends borders, unites cultures, and captures the rawest emotions of humanity. From the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat, sports freeze moments in time that tell stories of perseverance, passion, and greatness. And sometimes, all it takes is a single photograph to immortalize those moments forever. Welcome to 100 Greatest Sports Photos of All Time. In this video, we'll take you on a visual journey through history, revisiting the most iconic, heart-stopping, and unforgettable images ever captured in the world of sports. These aren't just pictures, they're snapshots of legends, turning points, and the sheer beauty of human achievement. Muhammad Ali versus Cleveland Williams photographer Neil Leifer. On November 14, 1966, Muhammad Ali defended his heavyweight title by knocking out Cleveland Big Cat Williams in just 3 rounds at the Houston Astrodome. The fight attracted a record-breaking indoor audience of 35,460 spectators. Willie Mays' legendary catch, credit Associated Press. During Game 1 of the 1954 World Series on September 29th, Willie Mays, a 12-time Gold Glove winner, made an unforgettable defensive play. Sprinting with his back to home plate, he caught a deep fly ball to center field, helping the Giants secure a 5-2 victory. Mays, the NL MVP that year, led the Giants to a sweep over Cleveland for the championship. Chuck Bednarik's game-changing hit photographer John G. Zimmerman. On November 20, 1960, Philadelphia Eagles linebacker Chuck Bednarik delivered a crushing blow to New York Giants running back Frank Gifford at Yankee Stadium. The hit was so severe that it forced Gifford to take a temporary break from football. Dwight Clark's The Catch photographer Walter Iose Jr. In the NFC Championship game on January 10, 1982, San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Dwight Clark made a historic 6-yard touchdown catch from Joe Montana, securing a 28-27 win over the Dallas Cowboys. This iconic moment, known as The Catch, propelled the 49ers to their first Super Bowl victory, where they defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. David Tyree's helmet catch photographer Damian Strohmeyer. During Super Bowl XXL on February 3, 2008, New York Giants receiver David Tyree made a miraculous catch by pinning the ball against his helmet while being tackled by Rodney Harrison. This play was pivotal in the Giants' 17-14 upset over the previously undefeated New England Patriots. Michael Phelps photo finish photographer Heinz Klutmeyer. At the Beijing Olympics on August 16, 2008, Michael Phelps edged out Serbian swimmer Milorad Kavic by a mere 0.01 seconds in the 100-meter butterfly final. This victory marked the 7th of Phelps's record-breaking 8 gold medals during the Games. Greg Olson's dramatic play photographer Richard Maxson. During Game 1 of the 1991 World Series on October 19th, Atlanta Braves catcher Greg Olson executed a spectacular play, flipping head over heels to tag out Minnesota Twins' Dan Gladden at home plate. Despite Olson's effort, the Twins won the game 5-2 and eventually clinched the series in 7 games. Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston rematch. Photographer Neil Leifer. On May 25, 1965, Muhammad Ali defeated Sonny Liston in a first-round knockout during their heavyweight title rematch. Ali retained the title until 1967, when he was stripped of it for refusing to serve in the military. Antoine Randall-L's playoff moment. Photographer Bob Rosato. During the AFC wildcard playoffs on January 5, 2003, Pittsburgh Steelers receiver Antoine Randall-L drew a face mask penalty against Cleveland Browns' Chris Akins. The Steelers went on to win the game 36-33 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Mike Tyson's infamous bite. Photographer Vijay Loverow. In a shocking moment during their heavyweight bout on June 28, 1997, Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear. The incident led to Tyson's temporary suspension from boxing and a $3 million fine. Bobby Martin's inspirational journey. Photographer Thomas E. Witt. Bobby Martin, a 3-foot, 112-pound high school football player born without legs, played as a backup nose guard and on special teams for Dayton's Colonel White High. Despite his physical challenges, Martin became an inspiration for his determination and resilience. Juan Marichal's unique wind-up photographer, Neil Leifer. On March 8, 1965, San Francisco Giants pitcher Juan Marichal showcased his signature high leg kick during a spring training game in Casa Grande, Arizona. Marichal's distinctive windup remains one of the most recognizable in baseball history. Tiger Woods Masters victory photographer Fred Veach. On April 8, 2001, Tiger Woods won the Masters by 2 strokes over David Duval, completing the Tiger Slam. 4 consecutive major championship victories. This triumph solidified Woods' dominance in golf. Brandi Chastain's World Cup celebration photographer Robert Becks, Sports Illustrated. On July 10, 1999, U.S. women's soccer player Brandi Chastain celebrated exuberantly after scoring the World Cup winning penalty kick. Her iconic celebration became a symbol of triumph for women's sports. Joe Montana's Super Bowl drive, photographer Richard Maxson. In Super Bowl XIII on January 22, 1989, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Joe Montana led a 92-yard game-winning drive in the final minutes, defeating the Cincinnati Bengals 2016. This clutch performance remains one of the most memorable in NFL history. Javier Torres at the Paralympics. Photographer Bob Martin. On September 21, 2004, Spanish swimmer Vicente Javier Torres competed in the 150-meter individual medley at the Paralympic Games, earning a silver medal for his outstanding performance. Vince Lombardi's triumph photographer Neil Leifer. After leading the Green Bay Packers to a 33-14 victory over the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl II on January 14, 1968, head coach Vince Lombardi was carried off the field by his players. This marked the Packers' 2nd consecutive Super Bowl win. Don Larson's perfect game, credit, Associated Press. On October 8, 1956, New York Yankees pitcher Don Larson made history by throwing the only perfect game in World Series history during Game 5 against the Brooklyn Dodgers. He celebrated with catcher Yogi Berra after the final out, and the Yankees went on to win the series in 7 games. Bill Russell vs. Wilt Chamberlain, photographer Walter I. Oos Jr. On April 5, 1968, 2 NBA legends, Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics and Wilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia 76ers, faced off in a classic battle. Russell is seen boxing out Chamberlain during a game in Philadelphia. Michael Jordan's slam dunk mastery photographer Walter I. Oos Jr. During the 1988 NBA All-Star Weekend on February 6, Michael Jordan wowed the crowd by leaping from the free throw line to secure a perfect score of 50 in the slam dunk contest. He defeated Dominique Wilkins to claim his 2nd consecutive title in what is often regarded as the greatest dunk contest of all time. Bobby Orr's Stanley Cup victory, credit Associated Press. On May 10, 1970, Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr scored the overtime goal in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the St. Louis Blues, securing the championship. Orr, who was named MVP, helped the Bruins win their first cup in 29 years. Joe Namath's guarantee, photographer Walter Oos Jr. In Super Bowl III on January 10, 1969, New York Jets quarterback Joe Namath fulfilled his famous guarantee by leading his team to a 16-7 victory over the heavily favored Baltimore Colts. Namath earned MVP honors for his performance. The Miracle on Ice photographer Heinz Klutmeyer. On February 22, 1980, the U.S. men's hockey team achieved the unthinkable by defeating the Soviet Union 4-3 in the Miracle on Ice at the Winter Olympics. Mike Eruzioni's game-winning goal propelled the team to the gold medal game, which they also won. Kerri Strug's courageous vault photographer Al Tielemans. At the 1996 Atlanta Olympics on July 23, gymnast Kerri Strug secured the gold medal for the U.S. team by sticking her landing on a vault despite a painful ankle injury. Her bravery and determination became a defining moment of the Games. Carmen Basilio's knockout victory, photographer Hy Peskin. On November 30, 1955, Carmen Basilio celebrated with his team after knocking out Tony DeMarco in the 12th round to claim the world welterweight title. Manny Fernandez's dominance, photographer Walter I. Oos Jr. During Super Bowl VII on January 14, 1973, Miami Dolphins defensive lineman Manny Fernandez made 17 tackles, including a memorable play where he hurdled an offensive lineman to pursue quarterback Billy Kilmer. The Dolphins defeated the Washington Redskins 14-7, completing the only perfect season in NFL history. Wayne Gretzky's farewell photographer. Lou Capozzola. On April 18, 1999, hockey legend Wayne Gretzky waved to the crowd at Madison Square Garden after playing the final game of his illustrious career. Usain Bolt's record-breaking run photographer, Bill Frakes. At the 2008 Beijing Olympics on August 20th, Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt set a new world record in the men's 200-meter final with a time of 19.30 seconds. This came after he had already broken the 100-meter world record earlier in the Games. Babe Ruth's legendary season, credit Corbis Bettman. In 1926, New York Yankees outfielder Babe Ruth, known as the Great Bambino, enjoyed one of his best seasons, hitting .372 with 47 home runs and 146 RBIs. A photo from that year shows Ruth spending time with fans, showcasing his larger-than-life personality. Jack Nicklaus's Masters triumph photographer, John Iacono. On April 13, 1986, Jack Nicklaus celebrated a historic victory at the Masters, shooting a 65 on Sunday to outlast Tom Kite and Greg Norman. At 46, Nicklaus became the oldest winner of the tournament and secured his record 18th professional major title. Hank Aaron's MVP season photographer, John G. Zimmerman. During spring training on March 30, 1957, Braves outfielder Hank Aaron was captured running toward first base. That season, Aaron won his only MVP award, led the league with 44 home runs, and solidified his place as one of baseball's all-time greats. Reggie Bush's Heisman moment. Photographer Peter Reed Miller. On December 3, 2005, USC running back Reggie Bush leaped over UCLA defender Marcus Castle for a touchdown. Bush's incredible season earned him the Heisman Trophy, though it was later revoked due to NCAA violations involving improper benefits. Penn State's whiteout game. Photographer David Bergman. On September 8, 2007, Penn State hosted a stadium-wide whiteout as 110,078 fans packed at Beaver Stadium for a game against Notre Dame. The Nittany Lions dominated, winning 31-10 in one of the largest crowds in stadium history. Mary Decker's Olympic heartbreak photographer, Jean-Claude Delmas, AFP, Getty Images. At the 1984 Olympics, world champion Mary Decker collided with Britain's Zola Budd during the 3,000-meter run, causing her to fall and end her race. The incident also disrupted Budd's momentum, dropping her from the lead to 7th place. Sierra Leone's amputee footballers credit, Associated Press. On April 6, 2006, members of Sierra Leone's single-leg amputee sports club played football in Freetown. The club was formed after the country's brutal civil war left over 6,000 amputees, showcasing resilience and hope through sport. John McEnroe's Wimbledon win. Photographer Tony Duffy. On July 4, 1981, John McEnroe defeated rival Bjorn Borg to claim his first Wimbledon title. Known for his fiery demeanor, McEnroe went on to win the tournament again in 1983 and 1984. Lynn Swann's Super Bowl heroics photographer Heinz Klutmeier. During Super Bowl Tex on January 18, 1976, Steelers wide receiver Lynn Swann made an incredible catch over Cowboys defender Mark Washington. Swann's performance, including 4 receptions for 161 yards and a touchdown, earned him Super Bowl MVP honors in Pittsburgh's 21-17 victory. Bill Mazeroski's walk-off homer credit Associated Press. On October 13, 1960, Pittsburgh Pirates second baseman Bill Mazeroski hit a walk-off home run in Game 7 of the World Series, defeating the New York Yankees. It remains the only Game 7 walk-off homer in World Series history. Julius Erving's iconic dunk photographer, Neil Leifer. In January 1977, Philadelphia 76ers forward Julius Erving showcased his athleticism with a one-handed dunk against the Denver Nuggets. Dr. J became known for his electrifying plays and revolutionized the game with his style. JFK and LBJ at opening day. Photographer, Neil Leifer. On April 10, 1961, President John F. Kennedy and Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson attended opening day at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C., home of the expansion Senators. Jock Plant's maskless era, photographer John G. Zimmerman. On December 18, 1957, Montreal Canadiens goalie Jock Plant was photographed without a mask during a game against the New York Rangers. Plant later became the first NHL goalie to regularly wear a mask, starting in the 1959-60 season. John Havlicek's game-saving steel photographer, Walter Ayos Jr. On April 15, 1965, Boston Celtics guard John Havlicek stole an inbounds pass from the Philadelphia 76ers to secure a 110-109 victory in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics went on to win the NBA championship that year. Phil Mickelson's Masters breakthrough photographer Dave Martin, AP. On April 11, 2004, Phil Mickelson sank an 18-foot putt on the 18th hole to win the Masters by 1 stroke. The victory marked Mickelson's first major title after years of being labeled the best player without one. Pete Rose's all-out hustle photographer, Heinz Klutmeyer. In August 1975, Cincinnati Reds' Pete Rose dove into third base during a game against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Known for his relentless hustle, Rose went 4 for 9 with 8 walks in the series, further cementing his legacy as baseball's all-time hits leader. Roger Bannister's Miracle Mile photographer, Mark Kaufman. On August 7, 1954, Roger Bannister, the first man to break the 4-minute mile, faced John Landy in the Miracle Mile at the British Empire and Commonwealth Games. Bannister emerged victorious in this historic duel and later became the first recipient of Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year award. Pittsburgh Pirates fans celebrate photographer. George Silk Time Life Pictures. On October 13, 1960, University of Pittsburgh students cheered from the Cathedral of Learning as the Pirates clinched their first World Series title in 35 years. Bill Mazeroski's walk-off home run in Game 7 sealed a 10-9 victory over the Yankees, marking the first Game 7 walk-off homer in World Series history. Joe Namath sideline focus photographer, Neil Leifer. On December 8, 1974, New York Jets quarterback Joe Namath was captured listening intently on the sidelines during a game against the Buffalo Bills. Namath threw for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the Jets to a 20-10 victory. Nadia Comaneci's Perfect 10, photographer, Neil Leifer. At the 1976 Montreal Olympics on August 2nd, Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci made history by earning the first perfect score in Olympic gymnastics. She went on to win 3 gold medals, solidifying her place as one of the sport's greatest athletes. Bob Cousy's revolutionary play photographer, Hy Peskin. On November 19, 1955, Boston Celtics point guard Bob Cousy showcased his innovative style, weaving past Fort Wayne Pistons defenders with behind-the-back dribbles and no-look passes. Cousy's flair revolutionized the game during an era dominated by fundamental play. Ted Williams' hitting wisdom photographer, Hy Peskin. During spring training in March 1956, Red Sox legend Ted Williams shared his hitting expertise. That season, the 6-time batting champion hit .345 and led the majors with a .479 on-base percentage, further cementing his legacy as one of baseball's greatest hitters. Dick Butkus, feared man photographer, Neil Leifer. On September 28, 1969, Chicago Bears linebacker Dick Butkus, dubbed the most feared man in the game by Sports Illustrated, was captured in action against the St. Louis Cardinals. Butkus was named the NEA NFL Defensive Player of the Year at the end of the season. Carl Lewis relay dominance. Photographer, Bill Frakes. On August 8, 1992, Carl Lewis anchored the U.S. 4x100-meter relay team to a gold medal and a world record at the Summer Olympics. His 8.85-second anchor leg remained the fastest on record until 2007. Brandon Day's muddy celebration. Credit Associated Press. On December 19, 2007, Carroll College linebacker Brandon Day slid through the mud after his team's 17-9 victory over the University of Sioux Falls in the NAIA College Football Championship. Carroll College has since become a powerhouse, winning 6 NAIA titles between 2002 and 2010. Serena Williams' Australian Open triumph. Photographer, David Callow. On January 21, 2007, Serena Williams celebrated a point during her Australian Open final against Maria Sharapova. Despite being unseeded and ranked 81st in the world, Williams defeated Sharapova to claim the title. Jackie Robinson's daring steal. Photographer, Mark Kaufman. On September 28, 1955, Brooklyn Dodgers legend Jackie Robinson stole home in the 8th inning of Game 1 of the World Series against the New York Yankees. Though the Dodgers lost the game 6-5, they went on to win the series in 7 games. Dennis Rodman's hustle photographer, Sam Ferencich, NBAE Getty Images. On March 7, 1997, Chicago Bulls forward Dennis Rodman dove for a loose ball during a game against the Indiana Pacers. Rodman, known for his relentless energy, won his sixth rebounding title that season, averaging 16.1 rebounds per game. Alan Amache's championship winner photographer, Neil Leifer. On December 28, 1958, Baltimore Colts fullback Alan Amache scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime against the New York Giants in the NFL championship game, often referred to as the greatest game ever played. Jim Brown's elusive run photographer, Neil Leifer. On November 29, 1964, Cleveland Browns running back Jim Brown dazzled with his agility, weaving through the Philadelphia Eagles' defense during the 1964 season. Brown's dominance made him one of the greatest running backs in NFL history. Lou Alcindor's skyhook mastery photographer, Rich Clarkson. On April 1, 1968, UCLA's Lou Alcindor, later known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, showcased his signature skyhook in a 101-69 rout of Houston in the NCAA Final Four. This victory avenged an earlier loss to Houston and helped UCLA secure the second of 7 consecutive national titles. Vasily Alexeyev's weightlifting dominance photographer, Neil Leifer. In January 1969, Soviet weightlifter Vasilyev was captured completing a clean and jerk during a competition. Alexeyev, who set 80 world records between 1970 and 1977, is widely regarded as the greatest heavyweight weightlifter of all time. Roberto Clemente's final season photographer, Neil Leifer. On June 16, 1972, Pittsburgh Pirates legend Roberto Clemente tracked a pitch during a 2-1 victory over the San Diego Padres. Tragically, this would be Clemente's final season, as he died in a plane crash while delivering aid to earthquake victims in Nicaragua that December. Julien Leparoux's dramatic fall photographer, Matt Goins. On April 28, 2006, jockey Julien Leparoux was thrown from his horse, Sanibel Storm, after it hit the rail during a race at Keeneland Racecourse. Both Leparoux and the horse escaped injury in the incident. Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird photographer James Drake. On March 26, 1979, future NBA legends Earvin Magic Johnson and Larry Bird faced off in the NCAA championship game between Michigan State and Indiana State. Their rivalry would later define an era in professional basketball. North Carolina versus Michigan State on the USS Carl Vinson, photographer John W. McDonough. On November 11, 2011, North Carolina and Michigan State opened the college basketball season with a unique game aboard the USS Carl Vinson off the coast of San Diego. The Tar Heels emerged victorious, winning 67-55. Mark McGwire's record-tying home run, photographer V.J. Lavero, Sports Illustrated. On September 7, 1998, St. Louis Cardinals slugger Mark McGwire hit his 61st home run of the season, tying Roger Maris's single-season record. McGwire broke the record the next day with his 62nd homer and finished the season with 70. Randy Moss's spectacular catch photographer, Damian Strohmeyer. On December 22, 2001, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Randy Moss made a stunning fingertip catch for a 62-yard completion against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Despite Moss' efforts, the Vikings fell 21-16. Rainbow trout's unlikely survival photographer, Jim Lavrakas, Anchorage Daily News. On January 22, 2001, a rainbow trout fingerling was photographed peeking out from the mouth of a northern pike in an aquarium exhibit at the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. The display highlighted the abundance of northern pike in the region. LSU's College World Series triumph photographer, Damian Strohmeyer. On June 17, 2000, LSU shortstop Ryan Theriot celebrated after scoring the game-winning run in the College World Series. The Tigers rallied from a 3-run deficit to defeat Stanford 6-5 at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Ben Johnson's doping scandal, photographer Ronald C. Madra. On September 24, 1988, Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson won the men's 100-meter dash at the Seoul Olympics, setting a world record. However, he was stripped of his gold medal and record 3 days later after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Vince Young's Rose Bowl heroics photographer, John Beaver. On January 4, 2006, Texas quarterback Vince Young led the Longhorns to a 41-38 victory over USC in the Rose Bowl, securing the national championship. Young threw for 267 yards and ran for 200, including the game-winning touchdown. Bob Beeman's Beeman-esque leap, photographer, Tony Duffy, Getty Images. On October 18, 1968, U.S. long jumper Bob Beeman set a world record with a leap of 8.9 meters at the Mexico City Olympics. His Beeman-esque jump stood as the record for 23 years. Secretariat's Belmont Stakes dominance, photographer Neil Leifer. On June 9, 1973, jockey Ron Turcotte glanced back at his competitors while riding Secretariat to a historic 31-length victory in the Belmont Stakes. Secretariat's time of 2:24 remains the fastest in the race's history, securing his Triple Crown win. Leon Spinks upset victory, photographer James Drake. On February 15, 1978, Leon Spinks defeated Muhammad Ali in a 15-round decision to claim the heavyweight title. Spinks achieved this feat in just his 8th professional fight, marking the fastest ascent to the title in boxing history. The Fog Bowl, photographer Heinz Klubmeier. On December 31, 1988, referee Jack Vaughn struggled to see through dense fog during the Fog Bowl, an NFC divisional playoff game between the Eagles and Bears at Soldier Field. Visibility dropped to 10 to 20 yards, creating one of the most surreal moments in NFL history. Cal Ripken Jr.'s Ironman streak, photographer Walter Ouse Jr. On September 6, 1996, Baltimore Orioles shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played record. Ripken's streak eventually reached 2,632 games, surpassing Gehrig's record by 502 games. Roger Staubach's Navy triumph, photographer Neil Leifer. On November 9, 1963, Navy quarterback Roger Staubach celebrated a victory over Maryland. Staubach, a future NFL Hall of Famer, led Navy to a successful season that year. Joe DiMaggio's MVP season credit, Corbus Bettman. On June 29, 1941, New York Yankees legend Joe DiMaggio was photographed during his historic 1941 season, in which he hit .357 with 30 home runs and 125 RBIs. DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak that year remains one of baseball's most iconic achievements. Tommy Smith and John Carlos Black Power salute, photographer Neil Leifer. On October 16, 1968, American sprinters Tommy Smith, gold medalist, and John Carlos, bronze medalist, raised their black-gloved fists on the Olympic podium in Mexico City to protest racial inequality. Their powerful gesture led to their expulsion from the Games, but remains a defining moment in the fight for civil rights. Casey Sanders versus Julius Peppers. Photographer Manny Millen. On March 4, 2001, Duke's Casey Sanders attempted to defend against North Carolina's Julius Peppers during a heated basketball game at the Dean E. Smith Center. Duke, ranked number 2, defeated number 4 North Carolina 95-81 in this ACC rivalry matchup. Jackie Joyner-Kersey's Olympic record, photographer Heinz Klubmeier. On September 29, 1988, Jackie Joyner-Kersey leaped 7.40 meters in the long jump at the Seoul Olympics, setting a new Olympic record. Despite facing unfounded steroid accusations, Joyner-Kersey, a 4-time gold medalist, never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Abebe Bikila's barefoot marathon victory. Photographer John G. Zimmerman. On September 10, 1960, Ethiopian runner Abebe Bikila won the Olympic marathon in Rome barefoot, setting a world record of 2:15.16.2. His historic victory, achieved under the Arch of Constantine, made him the first African to win an Olympic gold medal. Paul Gasol's NBA championship celebration, photographer John W. McDonough. In Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals, Paul Gasol celebrated the Los Angeles Lakers' hard-fought victory over the Boston Celtics. The win marked the Lakers' 16th championship and solidified Gasol's legacy as a key contributor to the team's success. Tiki Galana's marathon triumph, photographer Mike Powell. On August 5, 2012, Ethiopian runner Tiki Galana won the women's marathon at the London Olympics. Silver medalist Priska Jeptu of Kenya paused after finishing 5 seconds behind Galana in a grueling race. Gordon Hayward's near-miss, photographer John Biver. In the 2010 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game, Butler's Gordon Hayward launched a half-court shot that hit the backboard and rimmed out, allowing Duke to secure a 61-59 victory and their 4th national title. Matthias Steiner's weightlifting mishap, photographer Simon Brudi. On August 7, 2012, defending Olympic weightlifting champion Matthias Steiner of Germany lost his balance while attempting to lift 432 pounds, resulting in the barbell striking his neck. Despite waving to the crowd, Steiner later withdrew from the competition. Barry Bonds record-breaking home run photographer, Brad Mangian. On August 7, 2007, Barry Bonds hit his 756th career home run, breaking Hank Aaron's long-standing record. The historic blast occurred at AT&T Park in San Francisco during a game against the Washington Nationals. Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium, photographer Simon Brudi. On November 26, 1999, Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia, provided a picturesque backdrop for a late-season football game between Virginia Tech and Boston College. Santonio Holmes' Super Bowl heroics photographer Al Tielemans. On February 1, 2009, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Santonio Holmes made a leaping touchdown catch with 42 seconds remaining in Super Bowl XXXIII, securing a 27-23 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Lorenzo Charles and Jim Valvano's celebration photographer, Rich Clarkson. On April 4, 1983, Lorenzo Charles and NC State coach Jim Valvano celebrated the Wolfpack's stunning upset over Houston in the NCAA championship game. Charles' last-second dunk sealed the victory, creating one of college basketball's most iconic moments. Kyle Whitaker's rodeo mishap, photographer Dan Hubble. On March 17, 2005, rodeo competitor Kyle Whitaker lost his boot while being bucked off a horse named Dump Wagon at the Dodge National Circuit Finals Rodeo in Pocatello, Idaho. Whitaker finished 22nd out of 24 competitors. Abel Kirui and Wilson Kipsang Kiprotich, photographer Mike Powell. On August 12, 2012, Kenyan marathoners Abel Kirui and Wilson Kipsang Kiprotich led Stephen Kiprotich of Uganda through Leadenhall Market during the London Olympics marathon. Wayne Gretzky's record-breaking goal photographer, Robert Beck. On March 23, 1994, Wayne Gretzky scored his 802nd career goal, surpassing Gordie Howe as the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer. Gretzky finished his career with 894 goals. Hank Aaron's 715th home run of Tony Triolo. On April 8, 1974, Hank Aaron hit his 715th career home run, breaking Babe Ruth's long-standing record. Aaron's historic blast at Atlanta Stadium cemented his legacy as one of baseball's greatest players. Randy McMichael's touchdown catch photographer Bob Rosato. On August 15, 2002, Miami Dolphins tight end Randy McMichael soared over New Orleans Saints defenders to score a touchdown during a preseason game. McMichael had a standout rookie season, catching 39 passes for 485 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kirk Gibson's collision photographer Chuck Solomon. On August 9, 1995, Kirk Gibson collided with Kansas City Royals catcher Pat Borders during a game. Gibson, known for his gritty playing style, was a key figure in baseball during the 1980s and 1990s. Maurice Stovall's touchdown photographer, Damian On September 21, 2002, Notre Dame wide receiver Maurice Stovall caught a touchdown pass during a 21-17 victory over Michigan State. Manny Ramirez's helmet-flying double photographer, Damian Strohmeyer. On June 3, 2007, Manny Ramirez lost his helmet while sliding into second base after hitting a double against the New York Yankees. Despite Ramirez's 2-for-4 performance, the Red Sox lost 6-5. Magic Johnson's final pass photographer John W. McDonough. On October 22, 1991, Los Angeles Lakers point guard Magic Johnson delivered a no-look pass past Boston Celtics forward Ed Pinckney during a preseason game. Just 2 weeks later, Johnson shocked the world by announcing he was HIV positive and retiring from basketball, marking the end of an era for one of the NBA's greatest players. Lou Gehrig's farewell speech, credit UPI Bettman Corbis. On July 4, 1939, New York Yankees legend Lou Gehrig delivered his iconic farewell speech at Yankee Stadium. Despite being diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, Gehrig famously declared himself the luckiest man on the face of this earth. His emotional address remains one of the most poignant moments in sports history, and ALS is now commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease. Michael Jordan's last shot photographer, Fernando Medina NBA Getty Images. In Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan hit a game-winning buzzer beater against the Utah Jazz, securing his 6th championship with the Chicago Bulls. This iconic shot, often referred to as the last shot, marked the end of Jordan's legendary career with the Bulls. He retired 6 months later, but made a comeback in 2001 with the Washington Wizards. From the frozen moments of triumph to the raw emotions of defeat, these 100 photographs remind us why we love sports. They capture the essence of what it means to push limits, break barriers, and inspire generations. Each image tells a story, not just of the athletes, but of the fans, the history, and the unbreakable spirit of competition. Sports are more than just games. They're a reflection of our dreams, our struggles, and our shared humanity. And through the lens of these incredible photographs, we're reminded that greatness isn't just about winning. It's about the moments that stay with us forever. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the 100 greatest sports photos of all time. Which photo was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of sports. Until next time, keep chasing those unforgettable moments.